What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Jive Cookie, and welcome to How to H1Z1. This is a series where I'm going to show you many useful tips on how to survive in H1Z1, followed by a bunch of tutorials, which will be shown throughout this series eventually. So yeah, make sure you stay in tune with the How to H1Z1 series, and today we're going to focus on 10 useful tips and tricks that you may not know in H1Z1. So let's get started. Alright, so first tip, you can push zombies away by pressing Q, which is a really useful tip if you want to save yourself a few health points. You can push them away, and that will actually give you a chance to kill them because it'll delay them from hitting you for like 2 seconds or probably 1.5 seconds. That'll just give you a chance to pop them in the head with your handgun or whatever weapon you have. So that's the first tip, and yeah, let's get on to the next one. Campfires come in great use when it comes to purifying water and cooking meat, but campfires can be used for other things too, such as storage. Campfires are actually really great storage units. You can put pretty much anything in a campfire, even the largest objects you can imagine. You can put any of it. And it's pretty much limitless as well, so you can just like shove a bunch of crap in there, and the game doesn't really care right now, so use it while you can. If you manage to find yourself a crowbar, don't use it on other people unless you have to. Use it on cars, because if you hit cars with a crowbar, you can actually get scrap metal from it. And this is probably the primary way on how to get scrap metal in this game, so this is a really useful tip if you don't already know it. And because it's the primary way on how to get scrap metal, you probably already know it anyways, but I thought I would just throw that out there because it is a really useful way on how to get metal scraps rather than just trying to scavenge metal scraps from industrial buildings and all that. This is a really useful tip as cars are pretty much everywhere. So yeah, oh yeah, and by the way, crowbars can be really just like, so far you can find them anywhere, but you mostly find them in garages and industrial buildings, so make sure you check in there if you have trouble finding a crowbar. Around the map, there's a few tourist stops for all the tourist people, like people who are traveling around the area where they can stop, fill their cars with gas and stuff. But as it's a zombie apocalypse, you don't see that. But what has remained from all that is tourist guide maps, and you can see these like outside of gas stations, sometimes outside of churches. There's about 3 or 4 places around the map so far that have these tourist guide maps, and they're really useful because they show you where you are, and they also show where important cities are that contain a bunch of loot. So it'll show where Pleasant Valley is, Cranberry is most of the time. And that's really useful because you can use that as a reference to guide on where you should be going in order to get loot or get to cities. So yeah, tourist guide maps, really useful. You can press V to lower and raise your arms, which is a really useful tip, as when you're running at someone with raised arms, they will take it as an act of aggression, so make sure you lower your arms while you're approaching someone unless you actually want to kill them. It's just a really useful quick tip, as I have actually myself killed some people simply because they just went up behind me with raised arms and I just assumed they were going to punch me. Anyways, people like me we can't really tell what you're trying to do when your arms are raised and you're running at us. We're just going to assume the worst. So make sure you lower your arms while chasing people. And like I said, unless you're going to fuck them in the ass. If you're going to fuck them in the ass, raise your arms and fist the shit out of those assholes. Find any empty water bottles lying around? Well, make sure you pick them up, because it's not all the time when you see a river or a well, and when you find one, you want to stock up pretty well. So, make sure you collect as many empty water bottles as you can, so you can stock up on water for at least a few hours, as you don't really want to be going back and forth all the time. So if you see an empty water bottle, don't say, hey, I don't want that shit, pick it up. In H1Z1, it's pretty useful to kill zombies because when they drop dead and you hit them with any weapon, preferably a knife or a hatchet, you will get cloth from their body. But they also drop loot at the same time, and you can actually find some pretty interesting and useful items in the loot they drop. Sometimes in some cases I've found 308 rounds, shotgun shells, and many different miscellaneous items that will come in use for all of you guys. So make sure you kill your zombies and make use of the zombies you have killed. If you've driven a car or have even managed to maintain a car yet in H1Z1, you would know that they're pretty hard to maintain. like one arrow shot to the car like decreases the health by 15 or 20%, which is kind of ridiculous. It's easier to kill vehicles in this game than to kill humans, even if it's possible to technically kill a car. It's not. I'm just really bad at talking. Anyways, yeah, so how do you maintain a car? Well, you can build a wrench with 2 metal bars and a stick. And if you do that, you can build a wrench and you can just start hitting the vehicle with the wrench, and then that will gradually heal it. Out of flares? Out of lighters? Well, get this bow drill for only $2.99. Nah, I'm just kidding. This one won't cost you, but at this rate you'd think Sony Offline Entertainment would make you pay for it. Anyways, let's forget all about the ruckus, and let's start crafting a bow drill. To craft a bow drill you need a stick, you need a plank, and you need a cloth. And yeah, that pretty much makes a bow drill. What is a bow drill for? Well, a bow drill allows you to light fires without having to use a lighter or a flare, which is really easy as lighters are the most rarest item in the game, and I don't even think you can find flares besides you starting with them when you are a new spawn. So yeah, make sure you build your bow drills. They will come in great use. If your energy and your hydration is above 25%, your health will increase slowly. It's kind of a useless tip, as bandages are really a better thing to rely on to gain health, but at the same time it's probably something you didn't know, and yeah, there you go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this video comes in use for you. Feel free to use it as a reference for anything. Share it with your friends. Show them how to get started with the game. This is really these are really kind of starting tips to help you kind of get started. So a lot of you H1Z1 veterans are already going to know the majority of this stuff that I'm telling you right now. So if you knew everything already, don't just dislike the video. Well, you can if you want, but don't just dislike the video because you knew it all. It's not my fault. You're a veteran at the game, okay? It's not my fault you already have 100 hours in the game after 2 days. Okay, anyways guys, thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate all the feedback that you guys leave me all the time. And like I said in the start of the video, make sure you stay in tune for more how-to H1 videos. Also, I'm making a H1Z1 gameplay series right now, so make sure you stay in tune for that. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.